Okay.
Sir, there's two of you on my screen.
Yeah, that's my twin. uh, I want to make sure that at least when I roast the connection, then at least one is working, and I want to really see myself from the angle of our students. So yeah, this one is giving me the perspective of my student. So I can do it. All right. Let me see how much I can cover today. Okay. Uh, what is special about this lesson one? You know, I'm going to cover lesson 23 lessons within 40 minutes, no, 50 minutes, and we will see how far we can go. Okay. Uh, Introduction. Can you sing? Do you still remember the song? And I told you the order of the alphabet and names are quite important, especially when you are supposed to use maybe the hard copy of Hebrew lexicon, and it's alphabetically ordered and arranged, right? So you need to remember all those words in order. Then let me sing this song for you. Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, He, Vav, Zayin, Chet, He, Yo, Kaf, Lamed, Mem, Nun, Samek, Ain, Pet, Tzadek, Kof, Resh, Shin, Shin, Tav. Okay, feeling like I'm still a good singer. Okay, do you remember the song? Okay, sometime when you are um, feeling bored, then you just to sing. And if you have a chance to give a special number in your church, then you can sing this song too. Okay, you know, only the Hebrew song that I know. Okay, all right. Move on. I don't think there is quite important. Okay, some of you made some mistakes in terms of final forms, so please pay attention to this. And I don't know about the way Professor Labaya did, but if you miss even this final form, then we need to deduct a mark, 0.5. But I didn't really do that in Hebrew 1, but in Hebrew 2, I will do it. So pay attention to the final form, especially when you are working on the analysis of the verb. Then when you are writing the root letters, make sure that you understand it properly. Pega the capital letter, and it's nothing special about it. I think the first lesson, wait a minute, is not that difficult. Hebrew vowel points. And one thing that you need to pay attention to is short vowels and long vowels. And especially on the long vowels, we have two categories, changeable long, unchangeable long. Okay? So that's what you need to remember. And we have dealt with the distinction between kamet satu and kamet. So I hope all of you remember this lesson. And most importantly, you need to pay attention to this. shua, to know when the shua becomes vocal and silent. So there are several cases here. How many cases? 6 cases when the shua is vocal. So when I was giving you the Hebrew reading test, most of you actually, um, I want to say many of you didn't pay attention to the sound of shua, and you always did either just making it as vocal or silent. There was no distinction between vocal shua and silent shua. So this is, something that you need to pay attention to this. I mean, pay attention to. So please make sure that you understand these 6 cases for the vocal shua. Okay. Do you have any question regarding this? Do you have any question? Is it all clear? Okay. Then let me move on. We have studied about syllables. Okay, the second lesson is done. Okay, then let's go back to the first lesson of the textbook. Okay, lesson 1. So what have we studied about here? Biomer Adonai. So it was our first time to deal with the verb analysis table. So you are supposed to put the right root letters, stem, form, PGN, special feature, and translation. So I think we don't have any problem here. Everything is clear. And please just pay attention to the component. I know that you understand everything, but sometimes it always happens. Some of our students didn't include even the translation part. Sometimes they forget about the form. So it might be better for you to use the verb analysis table that I have provided you, okay, in order for you to avoid any mistakes. That's it. Please feel free to ask me if you have any question. Okay. Let me move on. Okay, lesson 2. Ami, would you read the passage, please?
Yes, sir. By the bell, Elohim, El, Moshe, by Omer, Elaib, Ani, Adonai.
Thank you. Good job. One more. James.
Okay. Vayadaber, Elohim, El Moshe, Vayomer, Elaif, Ani, Adonai.
Very good. James, continue to explain about this lesson. Summarize the most important parts, and I will give you 1 minute. Teach
Okay,
us.
sir. Okay. As you know, normally we have like most of the verb that we have learned is in count stem. But if you see the case forte in the middle of the root letter, probably it would be few stem. So in our first verb, where the bear, when we analyze it, the stem would be peel. Okay. And then the second thing is prefix pronoun. So we have yod there that indicates 3MSG. Okay. So the first verb would be, okay, stem is peel. And then
Excuse me.
peel stem. PGN is 3MSG. Special feature, we have verb conversive there. And the meaning will be, and he spoke. Continue, sir.
Very good. Student, do you have any question regarding this? Okay, I think it was not that difficult. So we need to remember what is the most outstanding distinction between peer stem and car stem. So we need to expect that the presence of dageshi forte in the middle. When it comes to the difference between the Hebrew verb dabar and then the noun dabar, what is it? When the verb dabar appears, it normally is used in the stem of peer. So if you have the dagesh in the bet, then it is most likely it is a verb. I think that's something that we need to remember. And then we have dealt with independent personal pronoun. So that is the another chart that you have to memorize. Where are you? Also pronominal suffix, and by this time you are supposed to know type 1, type 2, and that's a bit confusing. So please print out and then start memorizing it again if you haven't. And IPP, 아니, 아노키, 아타, 아트, 후, 히, 아나크누, 아셈, 아텐, 햄, hen. And that's the thing that we had to remember. Okay, then let's move on to lesson 3. Jim, would you read?
Viola, Dawood, Mesham.
One more time, please.
Viola, Dawood, Mesham.
How did you pronounce the first one?
Viola.
No. What is the vowel point here? The second vowel point. E. So is it va, ye, right? Together with Y sound. So it becomes ye from e. Va, ye. And what is this?
La, le.
No. What is this? The vowel point?
I'm sorry, sir. What was that?
It's a sego, so it has S sound. Vayelek, David, Misham. Okay, so you are going to take another Hebrew reading quiz. So please go ahead to continue to practice it, okay? It was about verb conversive and prefix pronoun. So Jim, would you let me know what you understood about verb conversive, please?
Verb conversive is and.
Yes, go ahead.
What do you want me to say, sir? Like
anything that you understand? What are the components of verb conversive?
Vav, pata, and dagesh.
Okay. And then the tense?
It's past tense, sir.
Right, good. Some of you are becoming quite confused about the tenses. So there are 4 possibilities so far. Verb conversive is always the past tense, and verb reversive is always future tense. So when it comes to verb conversive, then it is coming together with the prefix forms. Am I right? So prefix form together with verb conversive should be translated in the past tense, but without verb conversive, the prefix form should be translated in the future. So it's opposite. So you need to remember, then what do you mean by affix form? Verb reversive. Verb reversive comes with a affix form. So affix form without verb reversive should be translated in in the what tense? Without verb reversive. Past tense. Why? Because verb reversive is a future tense. So if you are confused, please start from verb conversive and verb reversive. Okay, then you will be easily able to remember the right tenses. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
did you just say an affix with a with a with uh, with an affix with a verb conversive is a verb reversive is past tense?
No, future tense. I
Yeah.
said future tense, but without verb reversive, then it becomes past tense.
Okay.
Okay, good, good. Thank you. Let me move on. And what else? I think it's all straightforward. So then let's move on. Do you have any question here? Okay, then lesson 4. Pierce, would you read, please?
Velo Shama Hamelek El Hayam. No, yeah. Ha'am. You're muted.
Professor, you're on mute.
Professor, you are muted. You muted yourself.
Sorry. Sometimes some of our students made what is the mistake to pronounce ain as vocal, as if it is the yod sound, but ain has no sound. So you need to see the difference between ain and the yod. All right. So it's right. Ha'am, not ha'yam. Pierce, do you remember anything special here? A fixed form, negative particle, definite article. Hey, I think it's quite straightforward and it's nothing really confusing. Anything you want to highlight?
We've got the verb is in the affix form. So affix form should just be your 3 root letters. If there's no vav reversive attached to it, it would just be the 3 root letters. Should be quite straightforward, yeah. In the verb here, there's a negative particle attached to it, which is lo, and it's joined by the makef. And the definite article will be indicated by hey.
Okay, good, good. Thank you.
In this case, Hamelek, the king.
Right. So he, pata, and dagesh.
Yep.
But we need to understand that
And then
he,
also ha'am.
even, kamet. And we've learned another possibility in terms of the vowel points for the definite article he. Do you remember? Apart from pata and kamet, anything else?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Okay, in terms of the vowel point under the he, okay, we have 2 cases here, right? Pata and kamet. And what else? What kind of vowel point can you have for definite article he? Apart from pata and kamet, do you remember?
There is something now I can't remember.
All right, so you need to remember it can be even sego and sometimes even composite shuar. So that's what you need to remember. I think one more thing that we need to pay attention to here is this. Look at this. This is vav, and then shama, and then this is the affix form. As I said, vav and affix is a combination with verb reverse. So it happened many times. You are tempted to put it as verb reversive. And since it is connected to the main verb, shama, through makeb, then you need to include these two aspects, lo and ve, under special feature. But this is not verb reversive, although as you can see that this is a combination between verb and a fixed form. But in this case, because of this makeb and then lo, this one has what is it? A pause between verb and shama. So this one is not supposed to be considered as if as a verb reversive. So whenever you have verb reversive, then verb will appear right before the main verb without anything. So in this case, don't be confused. Just to take them separately. Is that clear? Okay. I think that's the one thing that we need to pay attention to. Then, do you have any question regarding this lesson? Can you move on? Okay. Lesson 5. Sharon, could you read, please?
데바르 아도나이 아셰르 하야 엘 후셰아.
What is the last one?
호셰아.
Okay, good job. And then in terms of pronunciation, this pata is called pativ pata. So you can see that the location of pata is slightly on the right side. In this case, you are supposed to pronounce this sound before the following consonant. Okay, so hoshe a. Okay, it was about construct chain. So Sharon, let me know. What do you expect when you are dealing with construct chain? What do you remember?
I remember construct chain when translation of the.
Okay, doing good job. And how do you recognize the presence of construct chain? Is there any indicator for construct chain? You're right that the translation should be A of B. Okay, so you need to combine these two words, A and B, by of. But how do you see if this is a construct chain?
The comes out two noun together. Yeah. And then
Go ahead. Okay. Sharon, look at this. Normally, if you have two nouns, and not always, but normally there must be a little variation on the preceding noun in terms of vowel points. So normally shortening takes place. So as you can see here, it's a dabar, but debar. So as you can see that this kamets and kamets pata, and in case of the noun kamets and kamets, but you can see the shua and pata. So shortenings are shortening is taking place here. So that is another sign, but not all the time. But this is one of the signs of construct chain. And in terms of a plural form, then you will definitely have this special bridge like tere yod for masculine form. And as a feminine form, you will have ot ending and a tav ending, something like this. So those things are the great and important indicators of construct chain. So if you have cherayot between the first noun and second noun, then what do you need to do? You need to make the meaning plural, and that's it. If you have cherayot and ot ending. Do you have any question? Is it clear? Okay. But as I said, unlike stereo is quite unique because im ending is plural ending, right? For masculine. But if you have stereo, then that's for sure that is also masculine plural form in terms of construct chain. But ot can be either. Okay, this one is could be even absolute form and construct form, but it's a plural. But how do you know that if this is construct or absolute? So it depends on the context. So you will be able to know the difference between them. Okay, let's move on. Lesson 6. Amos.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. To read.
Yeah, please.
To read. Yes. Va Yevo at ha yaten hu v'kol b'nei Israel.
All right. Would you read it one more time, please?
Oh, read one more time. Okay. Vayavo Vayavo at ha yar yaten hu v'kol b'nei Israel.
Okay. Thank you. It was about hollow verb and the missing root letter rule. So just give us a very quick summary of hollow verb, missing root letter rule.
Okay, so the hollow verb means like the second root letter is either yod or it is vav, yod or vav. And the missing letter rule for this type of words are like you are using the prefix form, and there's a comments under the prefix, like a prefix, you can say like the letter, and then the second root letter will be missing.
Okay, thank you. This hollow verb is quite confusing because I told you when you memorize hollow verbs like bo, kum, sim, mut, and all those hollow verbs, you have to pay attention to the first and the last uh, consonant sounds. Because as you said, when it comes together with a prefix form, then the second component is missing. So you will not be able to see the second root letters. As Amos said, it will be im, and you said yod, but from the beginning, it says normally im in the beginning. Do you know what I'm saying? Im, like sim, right? To put. And then in terms of even vav, we said holem or shurek. So you need to be familiar with all those hollow verbs because when it comes to the weak verbs like hollow verb, first noon and first yod, and well, what is the tendency? They tend to lose those weak sound. Then you need to pay attention to the remaining strong sound so that you will be able to know what is missing. So this is another tip. Your vocabulary will always help you. And in terms of missing root letter rules, after removing non-root letters like vav conversive, and then the prefix pronoun yod, and complement, you have only 2. Then what do you need to do? If you have, you need to check whether or not you have dageshi here. Okay, in the first root letter. If you have dageshi, then what is the sign for that? That is for assimilation, which means first noon verb. So that is missing letter rule for first noon. If you don't have a dageshi, then you need to check what kind of vowel point you have under the prefix pronoun. So if you have kamets, then that indicates what? Hello verb. If you have tsere, then it indicates what? The first yod verb. And other than any vowel point other than tsere and then kamets, then that indicate the third he verb. Okay, that is the summary of all the missing root letter rules. Is that clear? Okay, then let's move on. Lesson 7. Chompy.
Vayeten, Avram, Ed, Kal, Asha, Lu, Le, Lekaf.
Okay, this is not ein, and this is a commonly what is it? It's a kind of a common mistake. So this one is jade, le, I,
Silent.
It's hak. Okay, Isaac, Isaac. And how did you pronounce this?
Kal.
No, it's call.
Call.
This one is always pronounced as a call. Okay.
Call. Yes.
Okay, it's not kal, which means all. All right. Okay. As I said, thank you, Chompy, but need to work a little bit harder in terms of Hebrew reading. Okay. Another Hebrew reading quiz is coming. Here, after removing non-root letters, vowel conversive, and we have only 2 remaining consonants. What did you see? Dagesh. Then?
Dagesh. First noon.
First noon verb. That is the missing letter rule. And that's it. Lesson 7, done. Lesson 8. We'll read FL.
Sir, when I did that, I wasn't raising my hand. Anyway.
It's okay. Do it. I know you're a good Hebrew reader.
Just a minute. Gotta turn off my air conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ve'adu. I don't know. Ki. Shemi Adonai.
Okay, when you're confused, okay, this is the tip. If you are confused about this shua, just look at what vowel points you have just before the shua. Okay, so what do you have? It's a comment. Am I right? If you have a long vowel, then most likely the shua is vocal. Okay, so shua, and of course this one comes under the first letter in a word. It should be vocal, and then this one is preceded by a long vowel, then that is vocal. Okay, so this one is ve, ya, de, u. Is that clear, Ethel? I think that is the most important thing that you have to remember. Okay.
Ya, de, u.
And then
Ki.
you said ki.
Shemi.
Good job.
Shemi, I don't know.
Okay, good job. All right. What is special about this lesson? I think it was about first use verb of fixed form. As you can see that when you have a glimpse, just to quickly look at it, and you may be considering this one as verb conversive, but it's quite strange. Why? Because you have schwa under the verb, then that's something special, right? So it cannot be what is it, verb conversive? Because verb conversive, you need to always, or most of the time, you have pata under the verb conversive. So when you have schwa on the verb, then should be verb conjunction, maybe called plain conjunction or whatever. Okay, then you can see that this is not verb conversive. All right, then this is the verb conjunction. And what do you know about this? Yod, dalet, ain. Now, whenever you have, actually the first yod verb is quite confusing. Why? Because the yod can be either what? A prefix pronoun indicating 3MSG, okay? And at the same time, it can be a root letter like yada. Then what are you going to do? Oh, then this one is not really verb conversive. Then you need to think about all those things. But as I can see, the most outstanding indicator for a fixed form in terms of the first vowel point is what? Kamets, because it's a ka stem. So the most expected vowel point is kamets under the first root letter. So that's why it is a fixed form. Okay. And then in terms of a fixed form, it will not take anything in the beginning. So this one should be the root letter. Do you understand? Do you understand? What if we had a prefix form here? Then what do you expect? The yod and then the prefix pronoun, the yod, will be coming together, and this yod will be disappearing. Do you understand? That's how we could come up with missing letter rule. Are you following me? So you need to start looking at all those possibilities. And why should it be a fixed form? Why not prefix form? Okay. Then what is the difference between affix yada and then prefix yada, especially for third person? Then the vowel point will be different, and then at the same time, the yod will be disappearing, and then the vowel point under the previous pronoun is not supposed to be comments, but it will come with what? The zere. Do you understand?
For the prefix pronoun.
Yes. Yeah. Right. So looking at this, you need to come up with the two possibilities quickly. Oh, it looks familiar, and then I know the yada, but is it a suffix form or prefix form? You need to think about this. Looking at the vowel point under the first root letter, okay, this one then looks like a fixed form because we have comments. Oh, why not then prefix form? Then, okay, in order for this one to be prefix form, then this yod is not the first root letter, but this one is what?
Missing yod. Oh,
Yeah,
maybe it would be
the root letter yod is missing, and then this is a prefix pronoun. Then we have only two remaining consonant. Then in order for us to meet the requirements of missing letter rule, then it should be zere. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then that's something that you need to pay attention to here. And we have learned about verb reversive. As you can see, the affix plus verb, this combination is called verb reversive. And the significance of verb reversive is what? The tense should be the future tense. Okay. Let me move on. Lesson 9. Stephen.
Ye Vahem Lo Yadeu Ki Sho Shomer Yosef.
Good job. Okay, look at this. That's confusing. Ethel, please pay attention to this again. We have Shua. Is this vocal or silent? Then what do you need to do? You look at what preceding vowel point you have. Okay, are you following me? And then this is a long vowel point. And short vowel is what? Pata. Pata is a short vowel, and kametz is a long vowel. So it is preceded by a long vowel. Then this shua becomes vocal. Okay, this is one of the things that will help you. Okay. Participle, Stephen. What's a participle? And let me know what you understood about this. Very briefly, please.
Participle can be translated that be verbing, like doing or something like that. And to recognize the participle, it will have the dot. I should read. Holem, yeah, holem in the first root letter of the verb. So, and what else? It's have don't have person.
Right.
Don't no 2M actually don't have the doing M as 2M. I don't have the gender.
No, person. You're right.
A person.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
Person, gender,
Yeah.
number, right? So we don't have person. So then we have only gender and number. So which means masculine
Gender and number.
singular, feminine singular, masculine
have,
plural, right? Feminine plural. So you said that the most important indicator is the holem above the first letter. Then what about the endings?
The ending have the same ending with the construction nouns. So we can see that it's im, with the male singular, the most common is have no ending, and the female singular, male plural, female plural is have ending im, and ut.
Okay. I was kind enough to show you this, but I know you understood this before showing this, right? So as you can see that, right, these forms are coming together with the whole lamb above the first letters. So masculine singular actually is coming together with nothing, all right, and then feminine singular im, ot. So actually, im, ot, as Stevens mentioned, they are identical to the noun endings. Why? Because, as I said, participle functions like nouns. That's why it is taking the noun ending. So anyway, you don't need to say anything apart from im, ot. Okay, and remember, there is no person in participle form. And you will be confused. I know, always. Students will be confused. Because when it comes to the PGN, then you need to really have a clear understanding of when there is no person, when there is no PGN. Okay? And that's quite straightforward. For participle, we don't have person, but only gender and number. But what about infinitive construct? We don't have no person, gender, number. These two forms are quite important. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so then, and when I ask you this question, then what about the endings? Then just to say nothing, im, ot. All right, that's it. Let me move on. Brother Romero, lesson 10, please.
Bayebu, El, Abi, Vayomer, Abi, Abe, Abi, Vayomer, Hinehi,
Hine.
Hineni, sorry,
Okay,
Hineni.
hineni. Okay, good job. So this one was about hollow bulb here again. Can you just summarize it again? What is all about? It's first of all about missing letter rule. Number one. Can you tell us about missing letter rule?
First showed verb,
Is this for the first year verb?
a hollow verb, sorry, hollow verb.
Why? Because of what?
Because of the participle form.
Uh-huh. Participle? No, you are confused, Romero. Calm down. Okay. What vowel point do you have under the prefix pronoun for hollow verb?
Apata.
This is pata, and this is kamet.
Kamets, yeah, kamets.
Okay.
And there is a holem and the second.
Holem. No, you are not supposed to pay attention to the holem here. Just to stay with the most important information, which is kamets. Okay. So now you know that this is verb conversive, and then the yod is prefix pronoun. So they are not the part of the letters. So take them out, and we have only two consonants, which is bet and aleph. Then what is it? We are supposed to have three, but we have only two. That this time, what do you need to do? You need to apply the knowledge of missing letter rules, right? So if you have dagesh here, then the missing letter is nun. But we don't have dageshi, then what do you need to do? You need to look at what kind of vowel point we have under the prefix pronoun. If you have tsere, then that indicates the first yod verb, and then the yod is missing. But kamets indicates what? Hello verb. And then missing letter is from the middle. Okay? And then aviv is about the pronominal suffix. So you need to also still, I think this pronominal suffix is becoming quite important, more important than what you did before. So I think this is one thing that I'm going to ask you to write in your quizzes soon. So you need to memorize type 1 and type 2. Okay? So aviv, then means what? Type 2, 3 MSG, so means his. So going back to this, so what do you mean by aviv? Then it means his father. Let me move on. Lesson 11. Let me just do it. It was about, okay, this one is about another missing letter rule. As you can see that this is a verb converse because the pata under the verb indicates a verb conversive. It's most likely. So it's a good start to think. And then, oh, what is this all about? We have tsere under the prefix pronoun. So it must be missing letter rule. So this one is yatza. And it comes together with complement. So prefix form, the yod, and then shurek ending indicates what? 3, M, PL. That's it. But the lesson 11, the most important lesson about what is it? The grammatical aspect about lesson 11 is infinitive construct. As you can see that this one it's quite confusing. But as I said, you know that the first lamed looks like a preposition. Okay, then take this out. Just chop it. And what about this? I'm not really familiar with lamed, kaf, and tav ending. In this case, that's why I'm saying halak. This is a halak. And then it's a first he. So you need to be familiar with these two remaining consonants. One more time. when you memorize your vocabulary, especially weak verbs, then take out the weak sound and pay attention to the strong sound, because as I said, the weak sound is, will disappear many times, and you need to recognize it, the verb, by paying attention to those only two strong sounds. So that is one thing that you need to do. Okay, so this one is a halak, and then it follows the first yod verb pattern. That's why it comes with tab ending. Are you following me? All right, this one was a quite special one and challenging one. But before we deal with it, you need to understand what is the expectation for infinitive construct. Let me tell you, it normally comes with a preposition like lamed, and then you need to let me know two things, shua and holem. Are you following me? Shua and holem. If you see shua and holem, then that they are the most important indicators of infinitive construct. Do you expect other PGN? No. One more time. Infinitive construct has no PGN, only one form. That's it. So these are the most important things. So whenever we think about the indicators of infinitive construct, you need to tell me two things. First of all, it's most likely comes with a preposition. Not all the time though, but most likely, most time. And then you need to pay attention to the two indicators of vowel points, shua and holem. Okay. But in case of a missing letter or how can I say? Okay, weak verb like first yod, then the first yod will disappear, and instead it will take specific tab ending. Let's just continue to deal with another weak verb, which is the third he, like la'a. All right. And what do you expect in terms of infinitive construct? Then the third he will disappear, and you will have ot ending. Are you following me? Do you still remember this? No? So please go back to the infinitive construct, and then I think we have dealt with three cases. The first one is for strong verb. In case of strong verb, you don't have to worry about it. Why? Because it will take shua and holem. If you have a weak verb used in the infinitive construct, then what do you expect? The weak sound will disappear, and then it will normally leave with another indicator. So if you have tab ending, then it tells us I am first yod verb, and if you have ot ending, then it gives us the idea of the third he verb for infinitive construct. I think this is one of the important lessons and a bit confusing part. Let me move on. Samson.
Okay.
You don't need to read. Just let me know about missing letter rule.
Oh, missing letter rule?
Here.
I don't remember. Third Hebrew. Third Hebrew. I don't remember if it's.
Okay, Samson, I think you need to just review it. Otherwise, you will be quite in trouble. It's not really many things, to be honest. You have to really remember this. Okay, I just said this is a missing letter rule. Then missing letter rule is something that we need to apply when we have only two remaining consonants. And it is all about checking whether or not we have dagesh, or what kind of vowel point we have under the prefix pronoun. So as I said, after removing non-root letters, we know the verb conversive, and then the yod should be a prefix pronoun. So vav and yod, they are not root letters. So we have only resh and aleph. So only two, then it's a strange. Why? Because one root letter is missing. So now we don't have pata here. I mean, dagesh. Then it should be, we need to look at what kind of vowel points. And we have what? Pata. Then this one indicates the third day. Why? Any vowel point other than tsere and kamet. One more time. Any vowel points other than tsere and kamet. They indicate the third he verb. So missing letter rule for the third he verbs. What do you expect? The answer is any vowel point other than tsere and kamet. But according to our experience, normally it comes with either pata or hirek, according to our experience. Although we can say any vowel point, but it normally comes with pata or hirek. All right? Are you following me? Okay. That's it. And look at this. This is another one. First noun verb. Verb conversive, right? And then the yod is the prefix pronoun. And then you know that this u is a specific ending. So what do we have? Only two. And then you have assimilation. So this one is the first noun verb. Is that clear? So we are done until lesson 12. I think on Friday we'll be able to cover this. So tomorrow we are going to deal with a new lesson. So please be ready for this journey and then start memorizing another 20 new vocabulary. Do you have any question?
Sir,
Okay.
just want to ask our textbook. Are we going to use the one we use in Hebrew 1? Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's the same one. Same one.
So,
okay, sir.
Yeah, Ethel?
we're supposed to know how many words by Friday? 100 and, I think, 130?
Actually, by this time, you are supposed to memorize until vocabulary list 200. Am I right? So you must to know.
Oh yeah, 200. So this Friday is the vocabulary oral quiz?
No.
Oh.
This Friday, you will take a translation quiz. This Friday, you will take on Fridays, you will take translation quiz. And on Tuesdays, you will take the vocabulary quiz. But regarding oral test, I haven't decided how many times and when. I will soon let you know about it. Is that clear, Ethel?
So today is Tuesday. So
right.
Today we have vocabulary quiz?
No.
Or start next week?
Yeah, congratulations. You don't have anything to do today. All right, starting from next week. Thank you for the question.
So next week we have to try 1 to 220 vocabulary?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Right. So start memorizing from vocabulary list 201 to 220 for this week. And then next Tuesday, you have to take this quiz. Is it clear? Okay, if you don't have any question, then dismiss and gonna see you tomorrow, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Sir, I just want to ask about the Moodle. I cannot access